Hi everybody, help. Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Harper Harp. This is Harp. I have come back to let you know and to talk to you once more again. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. This is Harp King Harp. I'm with you today, black people. I'm with you today. I want you to know that the society of black people are very important and in dire situation, an alarming situation. And here I am to talk. And there's situations and subjects we got to come to in this. There's a lot to unpack, but awareness is first. Self-preservation is most important. So guys, let me talk to you. This particular discourse is going to be about the Democrat Party. You see, I want you to hear this. Pay attention. Pay attention. The Democrat Party is a anchored political group that is in power. First of all, when people talk about the Democrat Party, I have a thing with people saying Democrat Party. There's too many people, too many educated people that are followers, too many educated people that are not educated in areas where it matters. You don't even know. I found out a lot of people don't even know in terms of my conversation, interaction, and exchanges. You don't even know who the Democrat Party is. The Democrat Party, first you have to know who they are, and I'm going to tell you who they are. They are considered and deemed as main government. They are considered and deemed as main government. They have been for a long time. Because you see, the reason why they are in this place is because long time ago, I forgot the president's name, but I'll come to it. Sorry about that. Long time ago, the Democrat Party did something for black people that one of the presidents stated that he'll have our vote forever, 300 years or plus. And he used a derogatory term in referring to us as black people. So the white society, which was the majority and is now and won't forever be the majority in this country as a group, they were Democrat, a lot of them. And what happened, the Democrat got the swing of the black society, which put them in power, gave them in power. So they have been deemed main government for centuries. They are in control of the media. The media, what you look at on TV, the Facebook, the YouTube, what I'm on now, Democrat is deemed, literally deemed as main government. The Republican Party is not main government. No party is really truly for black society, for the slave descendants. No party, because consider what slavery is. Slavery is the engine that supports the country. It is an institution that serves the country, not itself. Slavery is slavery. If you are a slave, how can you serve yourself? Or if you come from slavery, the floor has been raised, but you're still economically behind this because you have been compensated for it. You have not got the Homestead Act. You have not got anti-crime bills. So you're still locked into slavery, some forms of it, economic, industrial, spiritual, mental, socially, because you have not been locked out and have not been let out in the way in which you have been kept in, and that's by wealth. And other groups have been given this through the Democrat Party. Now, the Republican Party was not giving them this stuff. And I'll explain to you why, because in my study, in my assessment, the Republican Party is pro-American. And you cannot be pro-American without aimlessly and fighting for black people. They're not trying to fight for black people as Republicans when they are pro-American. But pro-American government automatically fights for black people because black people are American. The slave descendants, we're natives. We are literally American people. We built the country. We designed the country. Intellectually, we entertain. In every way this country exists, black men have designed it. Okay, so music came from Mississippi. Entertainment. That is the place where a lot of our ancestors from and where I am from. The pain grounds of hardship through black people, where blues came from and jazz came from Detroit with Della Reese and them. And then blues and them came from all down there with Muddy Waters and stuff, and Ike Turner and rock and roll and stuff. And now white men are the face of rock and roll. And Michael Jackson and them started singing and all that stuff. Now, I'm going to keep going back to the Democrat Party, how it connects to society and how politics is your life. Politics is your life. And you need to know this. Now, the Democrat Party has been a place where black people have called home in terms of voting and policy because of what the president had did for them, for black people at one time. Now, this is a party that has not allowed black people to have voting rights for such a long time. This is a party also, this is America. It's not just a party, it's America. This is the American government, which you have to understand. And most of government decision is bipartisanship because they understand government is bipartisanship. It has to believe, it has to come to an agreement itself in its body. You understand? And see, black people don't understand that. I'm not trying to talk about this, but we need to get clear on some stuff. The Democrat Party is considered main government. And I will tell you that in terms of it being that, you in conversation or in your approach or whatever you're fighting for politically, you are a danger and a threat to yourself and others by not knowing who they are. Now, when they got in power this last time with the President Joe Biden, this is 2021, I'm speaking. President Joe Biden, when they got in power with him, they was basically manipulating the black society to vote, talking about rights to vote. We got people like Roland Martin out crying, trying to get the President Joe Biden in the Oval Office as chief and commander, who destroyed black life when he invented and wrote up the crime bill through the House of Representatives as a politician. Now, Trump was not a politician. He was a businessman, which all white men in this country, I believe, and understand, I not believe, but I understand they can practice racism at any moment. Racism is not a person. It is a way in which you are anchored, how you can affect another group. And white people have had the seat of the higher seat in terms of race. That is racism. Racism came and the word was brought to our culture through slavery on our back. That's when it was created, the word race. And then when they won in terms of America winning all the wealth throughout the slave trade, then the word racism was created. Okay? So this is where this came from. Now, the Democrat Party is a party that is in power now in the full reins of power. Republicans don't have any seats in the Senate or the House. Now, they're giving people stuff. They're giving people bills passed. Joe Biden and all them, they have not done anything for slave descendants who built this country, blood sacrificial, off our backs and bodies and hardship. What we mirror as a struggle, where our home is, we can't go anywhere else to live. We don't cross any borders to run from what this is. We can't do that the way we're anchored in this country. And if you try to run from this country, where you going to go? America is what it is. It is a dream world. Why you think they call it the slogan, come in here, the American dream? But it's our nightmare because of government. And who is government? The Democrat Party. Who is government? Yes, the Republican Party has an anchor as a political group. But the Democrat Party, you have to understand, also controls the media with Mark Zuckerberg and say Facebook and all these media presence and all these different agendas going on. They throwing in our face, gay agenda, anything to keep black people from accepting and accessing power and accessing wealth and safety. That's what power is in America. It's self-preservation and safety. And that's what groups should have. To deny a group that would be basically denying them a human experience in America. That's inhumane because you don't have safety if you don't have that. That is exactly why they're giving it to everyone else. And see, what we have to understand is that we, as people who are astute politically, we did not go for Trump and say, okay, we're not like the Trump supporters who think they're white. No, that's not who we are. No, that's not who we are as a group. We are the ones who realize the lesser evil in terms of reality. We're not in the matrix. We understand that the lesser evil is concerning to us. And we brought the information, the data, the invoices to the media, to the white media, which we're allowed to use, and to let you guys know. But what they did, however, the Democrat Party, is told black people in society that you are dealing with a racist. And when you tell black people that you are dealing with a racist, black people get geared up. They know this. Not only that, they have been studying you. You have been studied. Politics have shaped you. You don't realize it. They know who you are and they know what to tell you. And they have the Democrat minions to get up and talk who are paid and who have an experience like Roland Martin. He's basically a Haitian immigrant who came here to have the betterment of experience because of America, the American dream, remember? Now, he's a descendant from Haiti, which he's owed by the British. The British owe him in terms of what they did to the Haitians. But we have the same experience, but we don't. We're different. We are an American Negro. We are an American descendant. We are the slaves, children of America who was born and bred in this country to be harmed and killed and hurt and sold off to build such a great and powerful forming and forcing nation with plenty anchored beautiful liberties that we don't access because of slavery. We don't access this by law politically because of slavery. Right now, a lot of it is treasonous because the Constitution states which we should have, but it doesn't wear gloves for us because we're not practicing self-preservation as lawmakers and as a people on the grassroots. Now we're doing it. When we began to do that, they assassinated our leaders, Dr. King, Malcolm X, Freddie Hammond. They criminalized them, and they put them in spaces where they're bad people. They assassinated them. Well, that turned us away from the grassroots and our political claim and stance. When Dr. King talked about we are going to Washington to get our check. That was the last thing he discussed in the last major discourse. And 6 months later, he was put to sleep. You think about it. And you go back and look at Martin Luther King speeches. And you go back and look at Malcolm X speeches. And you listen to me. They are saying the same thing that we are saying today. Except for we have another ideology of how to do it. We are the grassroots. We're doing it in numbers, not by leadership. Not by one person, because that they can kill, they can harm. But as a group, you cannot stop a movement. You can stop a person, but you can't stop a movement. And you can't stop a truth movement with the prestigious truth, because it has its pants on. You can't stop that. That's a reality. And politics is a reality. And it's before you, above you. It is a power source that shaped you before you got here. You are here, black people, because your people were brought here and made mulattoes throughout the raping of female slaves. That's why we have all skin colors. We are a black people. And yes, they put a name to us by government, by the sanction of law, by legislative law. The American Negro, the Negro. It's on my birth certificate. You don't tell me that I'm not a special group, I'm not a special person, and I don't deserve policy in connection to the killing fields of my family, my blood legacy, until the beautiful nation that we built through a power source and a historical hardship that I have to mirror each day and throughout my life. And I'm not special, and I'm giving people money off my tax dollars where the Jews don't pay taxes. And I can't access loans from the bank and be protected. When you have the so-called natives, when they use the word Ranger or the word Cherokee, they have to pay into that group, and they own casinos. And also, let me tell you something, that they own slaves. The Cherokees one time had slaves. That is the reason why they have considered to be cousins to the white man in terms of politics and have been compensated because they agreed with slavery. You don't know what this is. Black people, wake up and pay attention. You are in harm's way and in dire situation. If you don't have any literature and you don't have any knowledges to forward your claims, you have to assess and assist for yourself. That is called self-preservation. And you have to understand what's going on. And our politicians, they are not practicing self-preservation, and they are Democrats. They are up there as a black people that are paid to continue to do what they are told. They are subservient to the government that we serve. It does not serve us. Politics is supposed to serve you as a people because of your vote and because you keep them strong by your action, by your political action. And we serve them. That is what a slave does. The Mexicans don't serve the Democrat Party, but they're giving them money. They're protecting them. They're telling ICE to sit down. The Mexicans don't serve them. The Asians don't serve the Democrat Party, but they're giving them bills, anti-crime, lynch bills. They don't serve them. They don't even vote, really. But they're looking at them as people because they were never slaves. You got to understand what slavery is. You're never looked at as a person. As centuries, you have been a slave. Yes, we have some form of freedoms, but in terms of what slavery really means, we have not looked into this and looked into the real science of the institution of slavery and understanding that we're still locked in some form of slavery economically by not getting what the country owes to us and what the country gives as a limb and as an anchor. And that's liberties. America gives that to groups. That is her liberty. That is one of her limbs. And she have not given it to us. Even in terms of the Homestead Act, we are the most hurt group in America in terms of political exchanges and political set-asides. You have to understand this is real and it's happening right now. You understand? So we have to understand this. We have been harmed by a party that we put our political claims to, that we put our energy to and our faith in as a people, in a society. Now, the lesser evil to us was Republican because we had the Democrats scared until black women mostly, and I'm sorry, I'm not talking about our women. When I looked at I studied this and I looked at the assessment, they end up getting black women to vote for the Democrats. Most black men were not doing it until the woman persuaded him. Because we are made and formed as leaders. Men are naturally leaders. That is how God made us. But we need the woman. She's the first nurturer to the family and the community. But men, we think problem, solution. We are designed to be leaders, gay or straight. We are. Let's not talk about sexuality. But we are designed to be leaders. In terms of our ideology and the way we're anchored in kingship. That is our birthright. And so we have to understand that as a hierarchy among each other in community, and the other groups do. Their women don't get up in front of them, but they are respected and they do have leadership and they have jobs they never had before. And we want that for women, but we don't want, black society has been docile to how we should exist as family because we never had power. We never had that respect. When we got it, they tore up Black Wall Street. If we could have Black Wall Street today and places like Rosewood in Florida, which was all over the country, we had communities thriving. Black Wall Street wasn't a community. Matter of fact, Black Wall Street was a city, a wealthy city for black people. And it was bombed from the air, okay, by government, military government, okay, which is Democrat. They're in ownership, okay? Let's understand what's happening here. So if we had all these communities to mirror from right in the day, we could talk like a white man with a ski boat or a white woman with a cat. We can say, hey, I just need to go to Black Wall Street. I'm tired of dealing with this. Maybe I go to the bank in Black Wall Street, get a loan, you know what I'm saying, get some protection. We could have these conversations, but we cannot have these conversations because it was taken away from us by militant force. You understand? And egregious attacks, illegally, unlawfully. Harmed against us, and we still don't have an anti-lynching bill or a hate crime passed, and they drop drugs off in our community and got black people running around acting crazy, boys with their pants down, and frame the minds of our people throughout a power source. And we don't begin to protect the protection. They're not giving us an incentive that belongs to us where we can begin to fix our community and reshape ourselves. Because in the 60s, we were doing pretty good, but they killed our leaders. Don't forget that. That's what they detoured us from safety, which is wealth. Wealth is safety in America. So our lives are at stake. And now it's catapulted where they put the wrong drugs and they put the drugs in the community, so there won't be another Dr. King. There won't be another Malcolm X. These people can pretend and play with drugs and sell drugs, and they're not a people where they really have anything or the betterment of choice. So they're going to use this. We're going to shape who they are. We're going to shape who we want them to be. They're like lab rats because they don't have what they need, and they don't have what America has to be an American, to be a real American. So we're gonna destroy and make their community dysfunctional as a people. We are afraid of black people is what they're really saying, because black people are talented. They're the face of entertainment. They're good at everything they do. And also they did intellectually design this country that we stole and patent a lot of things. And if we let them have power like we have, they will take over. It's the mind of the white man in America in terms of what has happened to us. If you look at it, I understand these things. And a lot of this stuff that I look up and understand will scare you. But I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to alarm you. So you need to understand what's happening. Black people. And now, Democrats have been the throne of this. They have been the sole throne of this. And that the Republicans haven't been so good to us, a matter of fact, myself. They have a pro-American stance. And a lot of Republican people that are lower middle class have been ignorant people. And they think on an ignorant level. They don't really think on a chessboard level. So racism comes from that area and the looks of it. So what we do as a black people, we understood that as an American, black American, as a native, the Republican Party was, to us, the lesser evil, simply because we are supposed to be pro-American in terms of what we need, other people getting pushed out the way so that we can survive, and America can assist us instead of them, because they are doing it massively in the millions over our heads. We are now assisting these people in terms of workforce. We're now under them in terms of economics. They own businesses and they don't even vote for it. They tell us we have to vote. No, we have to strategize and understand who we are. And what we was trying to do in the lesser evil is hold our vote so that we can win in terms for the greater good of ourselves as a self-preservation, because our politicians are literally treasonous against us. And I will tell them on media, I will go on air and I will let them know respectfully to them, to their faces up front, that you are doing this wrong and that you should be ashamed of yourself in terms of what you should know or what you may already know, because now I'm aware of this. And it stops here. So I'm going to end this subject by saying to the American government and to the people, cut the check.